Good morning, everybody. It's April 11th, 2024, regular board meeting at the Magna Water District, 8885 West, 3500 South, as our general office building. I would like to call this meeting to order. So will everybody stand with me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before I get started on our diocese today we have Trevor Andre, our district engineer. Dallas Henline is our sewer manager. Wastewater, I should say, that sounds better. Raymond Mondragon, our water manager. Andrew Sumption is our HR. Jeff White, myself, Mick Sudbury, Danny Stewart, Leal Fitzgerald, our controller, Nathan Bracken, our legal counsel, and Clint Dilly is our general manager. So I'd like to welcome the public and guests. Is there anybody here that would like to speak to the board today or have anything they'd like to address? Okay, seeing none. Does anybody here have a conflict of interest with anything that's on our agenda? Okay, moving on then. Moving down to our item F, our common consents.
Minutes of the regular board meeting held March 14, 2024. Expenses from March 4th to March 31st, 2024. General expenses, $1,514,797.57. Science Bank bond payment of $167,219.38.
Thank you, Danny. Okay. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. So just before we started this meeting, we had some people we wanted to recognize, our construction crew and some of the collection crew. And so we have some pictures, and this is of a project on 3100 and right off 8400 West. It's relooping some water lines, and we had to reloop 3 of them. And so they started like about 8 o'clock in the morning, got done about 7:30 at night. So we were pretty impressed with our people. What a great job they did. No complaints at all on my end, was great. Nobody called and complained about not having water. So here are some pictures. And I'd never seen a relooping project, so I went down and had to take a peek because I wasn't quite sure, but there's quite a process to that.
Yeah, they had quite a few challenges come up. They overcame, and we saved having 3 different shutdowns and did them all in one day, which to be able to mobilize that size and that many experienced people, and with the newer staff that's caught on, just great testament to the teamwork.
Done
Between the
good.
collections crew, the water crew, and a little help from the EDR crews as well. It was a joint venture between all of us, and it turned out to be a good day, getting all these loops done and behind us. And like I said, it was great teamwork between all of us working together.
And I know from our city manager and from myself as not a trustee, but as a board member, we're very happy. We want to thank you guys also too for helping us out.
Yeah. It's good. I had one call.
Did you?
Shane York. Took me an hour and a half to get off the phone. You know Shane.
Okay, let's move on to our departments reports. Clint, our general manager report.
All right, I'll just highlight a couple things from the written report in your packets there, and if you have any questions, let me know. We are going to be starting our secondary water system on the 15th. The canal start date is the 20th.
The 20th, yes.
Just for everybody's knowledge, Nellie finally retired,
Oh, did he?
and Mark Newman is the new canal president. So we know Mark, so that's a good thing that we know, have that relationship. Raymond had a great relationship with Nellie and Trevor and myself.
Nellie's gotta be 90 years old now.
Yeah.
Older than that.
Huh?
I think he's older than, I think he's about 95.
95?
I think so.
He sounds pretty miserable in retirement. Raymond talked to him, but
Yeah, he's going blind, so he's not too happy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I shoot his racehorses for years. You know,
Just don't get him mad at you.
he wasn't mad at me. He didn't want no money either.
Don't get him mad.
so
Yeah, don't get him mad.
they'll turn the canal in on the 20th, but we think we can cover it with our shallow wells and our reservoirs are full,
Yeah,
right? Will be.
we shoot there.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, we're gonna send these flyers out in our bills. And this tells us about the secondary water. And Clint, I'd like to see if you'd reach out to Salt Lake County to make sure that they put out reminders and make sure that any tap water they have at the park, to let them know it is not drinking water.
Yeah, with the Lehigh situation last year, the health department's asked us to send out some specific language. It's a good reminder that these sources are great for irrigation, but you shouldn't drink them or play in them.
Right.
Because they do carry risk.
Well, we used to
From
play in the
exposure.
ditch.
Nothing beyond if you got yourself in the canal or Utah Lake, but I mean, it's still a risk, right?
Right.
So, we want to send that out if the board's
It
supportive
looks
of
good to
that.
me.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
It's real good.
And then the water picture is telling people how we're doing with the drought status and water that we've received. And we're gonna, as the board approved last month, we're gonna go back to a level 1 voluntary conservation mode.
Right.
That's in line with Jordan Valley. They've gone back to a level 0.
The thing is, I just hope people will conserve, use the water, but let's try conserving like we have, because I worry about that. Now we're not in the drought. People are just gonna overwater and,
People are asking, how long do we expect before secondary water will get in this upper reservoir?
Probably realistically 2 years. It's gonna be available in the zone this year.
Yeah, coming up through to 2820 or whatever it is.
It'll come, well, we've got this reservoir right here that's full. And then we've got the one on 41 and 84 that's full.
Okay.
And then are you talking about the new one we need to build?
No,
Further
I'm
up?
talking about how long before we'll be off ditch water.
oh, you're talking about the reuse water.
Reuse. Oh, yeah, that's gotta be up.
2025 season.
Okay.
Dallas, I'm sorry, I'm gonna plan on coming down next week and visiting with you, so. To come down there, and I might bring the city manager with me if he's got time, to go see that reuse project down to the wastewater.
I don't know how they heard about it, but people are just asking when we're gonna be off. Maybe we'll get some more people signing up
Yeah, I think so.
when we're off ditch water.
Me and David went out and had a little bit of a lunch meeting the other day, and so on the way back, he goes, "What's that building there?" And I said, turned into it, CDR building, so I called Clint, "Hey, could you get a hold of Matt? Because right here, so David came in there and he was so impressed.
They do a good job.
It was just,
Don't let anybody in there, no.
but it was pretty impressive, and
Yeah, so secondary water, we talked about, I wanted to highlight, as part of the preventative maintenance program on the well fields that we really got serious about a couple years back. We did Haynes well number 4, right? Or number 2, sorry. We completed that well. We've moved on to Haynes well number 7. They pulled that and videoed that. And it's almost a different type of deposit.
Yeah.
They think we can do less chemical treatment and more just physical agitation.
Brushing.
But the difference is we're doing that before failure. rather than responding
When
to
it fails.
failures. So the water department and Trevor and the team doing a great job, getting ahead of the game on these wells that are so critical for us. Wanted to highlight that to the board. The other thing I'll say, this was yesterday, I was on the Jordan Valley call, their meeting, and wanted to give the board they passed preliminary tentative budget for an overall 6% increase in their rates. But that translates to a 4.8% for us.
Right, and they were impressed.
And that is, we are still, I think we're only $2 more per acre foot than the lowest. I think Taylorsville Benion's the lowest, if I remember right, looking at that.
Based on our usage.
Based on, yeah, the historic usage and our location, we only go through one pumped zone. But to be in that price range is a testament to the team and how they take the water.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, Monday when we met for our workshop, he goes, wow, you guys do it awesome.
Yeah, and you know, that's what hit me is I got a mailer in my home that
Harriman.
told me Harriman's gonna hit us with double-digit increases for the next 2 years, and then almost double-digit for the 2 years following.
Oh, my heavens.
They told us they're switching to Jordan Valley water, and it's gonna cost an extra $500,000 a year just to do that. So I think what we're gonna see, even more than where we're at now, is that cost of water is gonna be a dramatic change when we have so many options with the secondary reuse, with our own groundwater wells, and then having Jordan Valley to supplement. I think that's gonna really pay off on the cost effectiveness of our water. And I think that's just, again, good vision that the board's had and the staff following up on the plans and the planning. So we've had some people that have had heartburn with spending money on secondary and reuse, but those investments I think are gonna pay off.
Is Harriman because they've got contaminated water or they don't have enough water?
I think they're wanting to switch their off-peak usage to Jordan Valley, rather than going to well water in the winter. It benefits them in other ways. There's some water quality benefit to them, but pretty substantial increases, and hopefully we'll get going on our master plan here soon, and we're not looking at those kind of increases. Hopefully we can avoid and continue on the moderate.
Oh, yeah, I'd hate to see that
I
happen.
wouldn't even want to even be at a meeting.
Pretty ugly. So
But Harriman has a lot of people moving in.
they do. They've got their own challenges. That hits home, you know.
So getting back, Clint, really fast to the secondary water, me and the city manager, we met last week along with the mayor with Salt Lake County, because Kennecott owns the park, Magna Park, but we lease it, and so we contract out with Salt Lake County, and our concern was the way the park had looked. And, like I said, didn't have water, it was yellow. His deal was, they were saying that the filters kept getting plugged. So why would the filters constantly getting plugged? Is that because of the secondary water? I mean, because he said their filters were constantly
We
plugged.
had some problems last year
Okay.
from our head screens, but that should be a lot different from this year from last year.
Okay, yeah, because,
I don't foresee any.
Said algae bloom in there is what
But
it is.
if their filters are getting plugged, or do they have enough surface area?
Yeah, they have a big filter and a big omniod. But like I said, we had some irritation on the ditch. We found a couple of the planks were rotten out, so we were taking a lot of,
and so that's what would plug the filter up then, okay.
we were having problems ourselves with our filters as well, but like I said, we worked through that and we got that all taken care of, so I think we'll have a good season.
Okay, yeah, good deal, okay.
Yeah, there was two components. They modified the screen
Head gates on it.
intake, and then the quality of Utah Lake.
Okay, I guess we can believe them now because they kept saying the filters kept getting plugged and that's why the water wasn't.
Wastewater, Dallas will highlight a couple things, so I won't go through there. We're working through the audit, working with the auditors on our office side, and
Jackass.
we talked about getting the surplus going. Board approved the list, so we're just working through that now. On communication and morale, Mick and I attended the Association of Community Councils together. I gave a presentation, just a general presentation on Magna Water District, kind of an overview, and I think that went well. It's something that I think we could build on and get out into the community.
I'm still
in
not
other
sure what that
opportunities.
is though, Clint.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a unique organization. I don't know how they tie into everything.
well,
but,
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Do you know much about that, Nathan?
This is the Association of Community Councils?
Uh-huh.
Together.
So, I think in the past, at least with Magna and the other metro townships, when you were part of an unincorporated Salt Lake County, each of these had a community council, and I think most of them still do, and those were private NGOs or 501c3s, I think. And so there are a couple others in addition to the ones that exist here. I think there's one in Granite and maybe some up at Continental Canyons. And so my understanding, and I spoke with them years ago, is it was basically kind of predates to the time before the townships had incorporated as municipalities. Now they're still kind of community organizations, essentially. I mean, I think they serve a different role in each. I don't know how Magnus works, but I know in Kearns, they're kind of like the event planner and the community outreach group, essentially.
Yeah, so this act is what they call it. No, they're not our event planner, but I know what you're talking
In
about.
Kearns
because-
they are,
Okay,
and in
okay.
Copperton they are, but every one of them does it.
Different.
They kind of got a little, they were superseded a bit, because before the Metros Incorporated, the community councils, and I guess by extension ACT, were the voice for the residents
Right.
in these communities. Now you guys have your own elected officials, and so each of the community councils has evolved in a different way. I don't know what Magnus does, but the other ones are kind of become more event planners or just kind
I
of.
want to say that deal that we have, I think it's called, it's an activity planner, Todd Richards and them. I forgot, I mean, they're the old town council or whatever they call, but I think they were gonna be the event planners. But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I have to find that out.
I mean, from what I would gather is if you had somebody that was on a community council that was new, this group kind of provides some education on Robert's rules, and it has some trainings. It's kind of like a resource for somebody to learn how to be on one, almost is what
It was funny, you had police, fire. I mean, it was just kind of this, and it's in the Salt Lake County building. So, but yeah, they liked our presentation, so, and I think they would like to come to our facility.
Yeah, happy to have them. The last thing I'll highlight is we did have the notice about the RV dump closure. We have had quite a few comments on Facebook. We didn't receive any calls in the office,
I didn't receive any calls.
but you know, there were some concerns about you know, why a lot of people that use the RV dump, the sentiment I gather is that they feel like they have paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
That they paid themselves, you know, for that. And obviously there's some truth, but they pay into all of the operations, right? It's not just that they pay
Into this,
into the RV dump. And when we look at all of our operations as a whole,
Yeah.
it's more cost efficient not to operate, and it causes less cost for the community. And so they're losing a service, but there's other options available. We still think it's the right decision, but wanted to pass that along to the board.
you know, it's funny, I've never heard any complaints about it.
That's good.
I've had some discussions, but they say it's closer.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, it's something to keep an eye on.
I had a few of them, and after we got done talking, they were happy with it. You know, because where the kids put the rocks down there and the things.
Well, the most complaint I had is waiting in line, and there's enough place to go now. I don't hear any complaint about that.
Oh,
Well, and you know, that road down there's busy. And, you know, people would back up, you'd have 6 or 7 trailers backing up. And then that road, you know, you got them cement trucks and then they didn't like it that we were closed on Friday. So,
So,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good.
and they were fine. Everybody I talked to were fine.
As soon as I tell them the liability and they go, oh, really? Yeah. I said, yeah, you just,
The liability, the kids.
and, you know, and it's hard for people. One comment was, well, so a couple bad apples ruin it for everybody, and you know, that is true. We don't know how many, but there are quite a few bad apples over the years. And I think we got more outside users than
Oh, we did.
we realize.
Twilla.
So, do
Is
you
it
want to
coming
be
from
paying
Twilla?
your money to treat
Yeah.
people from Twilla? And you know, there's a lot of things that it's just so remote at the time. It's harder to manage.
how many complaints on Facebook did you see?
There were probably 11. They say that, Dan. Wanted to pass that on. That's my report, unless the board has any.
I have none. Anybody else have anything to say?
No.
Okay, Trevor.
Jump to the engineering report. I've got a couple things here in red, just as they've come up since this was put together. So for the 2023 water line project, we've been working through some permitting and Dean's got that taken care of. That start date got pushed from April to May, so their plan is the first week in May. And that pushes kind of the final completion of that project into October. But the contractors doing everything they can to get their crews ready to mobilize first week of May. The reuse, they've completed the last lifted block that it's been grouted. They're gonna start tearing down their scaffolding. And I wanted to go through some pictures for reuse just real quick because they do a really good job of documenting all this, and it's pretty neat to see. So these are some of the roof support beams out there getting coated. This is a picture of the filter base. So
Wow.
this is where these disc filters will connect onto that. There's 2 different bays, and here's a kind of a larger view of that system there. Wow. Move on. There's a good picture of just kind of the magnitude of the building, and here's a good picture of those filters being installed on there. They'll be putting 2 more rows of those, and then we have more rows here for expansion of that. Good overhead views of that building. They did a really great job on the block. It looks really great. Very quick. They finished about a week ahead of their schedule. So that helps us overall to get moving forward. This is just a box they poured in place over the existing effluent outfall. This will get cut out, and then that will allow the water to go this direction to reuse or continue out to
So Trevor, I got a question to ask you. How many plants out there have reuse? There isn't a lot, is there?
Not in Utah.
Okay, so we're probably,
And not many using the filter system that we have.
Wow, that's-
In conjunction to get that type 1 reuse.
this is pretty impressive then, so.
Yes.
So we're gonna do filtration and UV, is that right?
Just filtration and chlorine.
Oh, we don't have to do UV at all?
We chlorinate prior, and then it can go through the filters and the reuse and right out to the system.
So how is chlorination gonna affect our people and plants and stuff like that?
So you wanna take that, or
I can take it.
Well, yeah,
It will be less than the
it's gonna
drinking
be
water.
very minimal, yeah, less than drinking.
Yeah, as the water leaves the filters, we'll have to inject a certain amount of chlorine just to get a residual before it enters the system.
Okay.
It's just a maintenance type dose, that way no algae or no bacteria is getting into the pipes. But it's a state requirement, so we don't expect it to have any hazardous effect to plants or anything. We've got it designed in a way that at our facility, we'll have some landscaping and some plants that we will use the water to irrigate ourselves. So we'll have an idea, based on our plant growth, what it's doing out in the system.
Well, except if it'll be less than drinking water, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Correct.
at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's it. This is the last set of pictures, but, so yeah, next time these scaffolding will be down, they'll be working on the roof deck and.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. I'm excited. So I got a question for you. So, me and the city manager met Friday with Kennecott, and we were kind of discussing a few little things, and so we're not quite sure what they're going to do with the expansion of the dike over to 80th West, but don't we still drain across there? I mean, now we won't do that no more, right? Once we get our secondary, or will we?
That, yes.
We'll preserve it. We want to preserve that, yeah.
Okay, we want to preserve that. Okay, I just didn't know.
Yeah, if we're not using 100% in the secondary, then that's still where we send it, so that will
Okay.
continue.
Okay.
We just
But-
do not want to discharge into Kersey Creek.
So the question I have is if down the line, if this deal gets worked out where they're gonna expand the dike, what's gonna happen then?
Well, they still should have a canal, some kind of drainage going
Drainage going there.
north, so.
Okay,
They'll have to reroute it maybe, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Potentially.
okay.
That canal in front of the dike.
Because we tried to get some information, but it was pretty quiet.
yeah.
Well, that water in that canal, that drainage is pretty nasty. We actually should get paid for diluting it.
Diluted.
We're actually treating it with clean water.
We are.
Just another update on, so the Haynes well number 8, you mentioned the grant money that we got. We're working through some of the paperwork and agreements on that, directly with the EPA Region 8.
And that's the newest grant we got is the 1.13 million, okay.
Yep, and that will, so next meeting, I'll be bringing an amendment to CRS Engineering's task. Because when we started the design on Haynes well number 8, we knew we had submitted our, application for this grant. We didn't know if it was coming, so there's some adjustments to that to kind of deal with the requirements of the federal grant. But we'll bring that back.
When we get these grants, is there a lot of ties? You know what I mean?
Guys, there's a lot to work through.
Lot of
yes.
stuff.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, within the agreement, during construction, yeah,
okay.
A lot of dotted lines.
but it oftentimes is still beneficial for us, especially when it's full grant funding like this. Just some other things, we're looking in, for the change house, looking at putting together an analysis to compare, how
Where are we at on that?
west and east.
Are we just looking at location now?
Well, we need to work on putting together a scope then to get a task order, so that's kind of where we're at. We haven't contracted with them.
Please have this done before my time's up on the board.
Got it. And then 7200 West Secondary, that's an extension of the secondary water line from Beagley Lane south to 3100 along 72. We're gonna wrap up that and look to start bidding in May, June timeframe.
Okay, good.
That's kind of the bigger updates. Any questions or anything else?
Nope, that sounds good to me. Okay, Raymond, let's hear your water report.
Okay. Water production summary. Clay water production in the month of March was 90,000.3 million gallons, or 277.25 acre feet, 6.12 increase from 2023. Year to date was 265.0 million gallons, or 113.35 acre feet, a 5.44 increase from 2023. We have purchased 198 acre feet from Jordan Valley as of now. Call out report wastewater and water combined. Total number of call outs 11. 6 being water, 1 being wastewater. 37 hours paid for water, 3 hours paid for wastewater. 2 service leaks and 9 miscellaneous. That concludes my water summary report.
Raymond, do you see us in the future having to increase our acre fit usage from Jordan Valley?
As of now, no.
With everything we've got going, we should be in really good
Yeah.
shape. Will we ever decrease that, or we just hold it there?
We buy the 800 acre feet and we go a little bit over, but we usually have 43 acre feet go in a month, and it's been going that way since I've been in this job for 4 years, and we've never increased it or decreased it.
I think the last time we increased it was when Ed was manager. We went from 700,
Yeah.
John would know, 700 acre feet to 800.
I mean, it's one of those things that, I wouldn't put it off the table. I think it's always something that should be reviewed and looked at, but we haven't seen a large overall increase in the drinking water side. It's stayed pretty constant with, you know, we've had that increases have been on the secondary side. So as long as that pattern holds, if we can continue to shift water from drinking water to secondary,
Oh, that'd be nice.
I don't know that there's any need
Okay.
to increase the contract till we get to the point when our drinking water goes up. We might wanna consider keeping the same ratio,
Right.
but
Okay, so Raymond, I got a question, and this is for Clint. Me and Clint had this discussion the other day. It's like, you know, we're putting some new main water lines in over on the old side of Magna. So the question I was wondering, and this is just me, and I'm speaking again I'm going to speak with 2 hats, water side and again is on the city council side. And when I say city council, I'm speaking for myself. So when we go in and do these main water lines, it'd be neat if we could team up with the city, because Magna Water does the whole one side of Blacktop. We could see if we could fund the other side, then we could do the whole road.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a cost savings to the city myself, because you guys go ahead and do the one side, we turn around, and then if we come in, then we have to dig up all that again and then redo that. So while we're doing that one side, maybe we could team up with the city and get some funding and do the whole side. Then that way, I think that'd be a good way so the city could get some of the roads fixed.
Well, we have to do 12 feet, isn't that right?
Depending on what our cut is and where we're at, they make us go to back a curb to the end of our cut, or 2 plus, so
Okay.
we're looking, middle of the street?
Sometime it could be half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's half of it, but that'd be a good idea maybe we could team up with the city and see if we could maybe do
Get
that.
ahold of them, talk to them and see if
Okay.
they have any comments.
Okay.
And, other things I could bring up, we're gonna start our lead and copper again, going through and trying to get to the homeowner side. We started last week, and we're gonna try to continue.
We
this
having
coming
problems getting into the homes?
week. These are the ones that we're gonna try to go get now,
Okay.
so we're gonna be working on that.
What happens if we can't get into a home and they won't let us in? So what happens there?
Then we usually just have to find an alternate address to make up for the one that we can't.
Okay.
We need a certain percent, and so the houses we're targeting are larger than that percent. We have a few different options on this. We're going door to door, and then they can still use that app where they. input
Some have been
information.
skeptical when you go to the doors and like, what are you doing? And what do you want?
So far, they've been pretty good. They're actually opening the door and giving us the information so far, so knock on wood, it keeps going that way.
And there's grant money out there for that, right? To
For
replacement. So do you tell them that too?
Yeah, we got like a
Okay.
flyer Trevor's put together, and I think that'll kind of help. If we don't get any of the people to answer, they can follow through and get a hold of us, and we can kind of make an appointment.
Does it seem like we have quite a bit of that lead and copper? I mean, lead and
Not really.
No.
I think Magna's pretty good shape for galvanized pipe.
More people are worried about what they hear than what actually is happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's been pretty happy with our guys.
Yeah.
Very explaining, they communicate very well. But boy, when they hear lead, do we have lead? You know, there's been such a big deal in Ohio.
Yeah.
That's what gets them flared up. But after that, everybody's fine.
So one other question I have, and this is, I guess, goes to the sewer side. You know, a lot of old Magna, the sewer runs out the back. Has that been an issue? I mean, it's good for people if they want to put a bungalow out back and tie into it, which, but I was just kind of wondering if I know Kearns pulled a lot of their sewer lines from the back out to the front of their houses.
Yeah, it just depends where the main is. So there are a lot of alleyways, especially in old downtown, where the sewer runs through the back. But you may not have the option to pull it out the front.
So I have a question on that, and I don't know if this is legal counsel, Nathan. So with the alleys and where the sewer line runs out the back, is there an easement there that?
Typically there is, yeah.
So what happens if you go out there and someone's took up the property, you know, the alley, and they build a garage out back there, and it's underneath the sewer?
So the way that this typically works is now a lot of this, I assume, was approved before Magna Metro existed, so it would have been under the county. So when usually someone subdivides a property to develop, they will record the plat, and in the plat will include a dedication for easement utilities. And so if the alley was supposed to be a place for that utility system to go, that's where it would say that on the plat. And so if you have somebody who has, the term is usually encroached upon the easement by putting some sort of a structure there, typically the way that would work is we would send them a notice and saying, hey, you're encroaching on our easement, give them a certain amount of time, basically a demand letter to cure the problem.
Okay.
And then if they don't, then we'd have to go and, you know, pursue a court order or something to require them to do it or to give us the authorization to remove it ourselves. Now, in some cases, usually if it's an easement by plat, and I think that's gonna be the overwhelming case that you're gonna have, the plat's not gonna have a whole lot of details about what our recourses are. However, in some cases, if we have an express written easement for a particular area, some of those easements may have specific processes we would file. You know, if I draft it, usually I say, hey, if you encroach, we can remove it by giving you a notice, and then you have to reimburse us for our costs or some other type of self-help remedy. But I think Trevor, I assume we're just mainly dealing with plat-based easements, right?
It depends. So some of these lines are like 1960 age, and there was, when it was county, there was this really broad easement that I've seen that incorporated like almost any road, any of our pipelines, just throughout the whole area.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a fight.
And it's more difficult than, like you said, a specific platted easement to a property, and so.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I bring that up is being on the city side, I see a lot of things that isn't in violation, and it's like, whoa, and then you start looking at, you see that they're building in the alley, you know, and over there on 9150, or 91, they've pretty much taken up the alleys.
And one thing good about our sewers being in the back, it's a completely different pipe, where ours is clay pipe.
Okay.
Versus Kearns was Orangeburg pipe, which
Right.
is a tar pipe. That's the reason why their sewer lines failed.
Okay.
And ours are in pretty good shape in the alleyways. So,
Yeah, we definitely, if we're to the point where we're replacing the mains, we wouldn't follow that same alignment. We would take the approach to realign it back into the roadway, right?
That's what we would suggest.
yeah.
So that problem over time, we will have to solve.
Yeah, that'll be time,
But it has, the type of pipe that we put in gave us more time than
Yes.
Kearns is dealing with.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Dallas?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we finished a couple projects on the wastewater side. We finished our acoustic assessment with the SL wrap. And if the board will remember, that's kind of an overall look at the condition of our collection system. And what I would propose is, as that data comes back and our team has a chance to analyze it, I'd like to present some of that data to you next month. We've done this before. I like to do it annually. It just gives our wastewater collection system and our piping grades, poor, fair, good. And it tells us, some of the areas that we treat additionally with maybe root control, just gives you a general idea of the overall health of the system. So I'd like to propose that I bring that back next month. And then the aeration upgrade kits, we got those installed last week. Today they've been in service for 1 week, so I'd like to analyze about 30 days worth of data and bring a report back that discusses some of those changes, what our performance was like prior to the upgrade, and then how they've been performing since, and some of the things that we anticipate, how that will affect our plant moving forward, what kind of timeline that buys us as far as additional upgrades and things like that. So I'd like to bring that back to the board next month as well, if you'd like to see some of those reports.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And then the last thing, Mr. Chairman, when we were evaluating a equipment purchase, we've been looking at a few different manufacturers of a sweeper. So if the board's not familiar, there's several different types. We think the type that fits our process specifically is similar to what we've purchased in the past. It's a Ventrac. The sweeper mounts on front. With that equipment, you've got the options for different attachments. I think they've got a weed cutter, a snow blower, and a street sweeper. We've budgeted for this for the last 2 years. I've got some pricing. When we were evaluating the scissor lift that we purchased this year, we were kind of doing both of these evaluations in step. I'd like to bring that equipment price to the board for approval next month. We've got about 8,900 linear feet of asphalt at the plant. We'd use this sweeper to kind of maintain those facilities, our parking lot at the admin building. With the concrete plant and the construction, those roads get bad. I think this sweeper allows us to protect our equipment, protect our vehicles, and make the plant a little more presentable. So I'd like to bring those prices. I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. If any board member has a suggestion of maybe a piece of sweeper equipment we haven't thought of, we're open to suggestions, but we think we found one that we'd like, so.
So sorry, go
Is
ahead.
it sweep only or vacuum?
It's just sweep.
Okay.
So how do we present the dust control with that sweeper? Because I noticed the county comes out and they're supposed to have water sprayers.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it's just all this dust is in the air.
So this one has a water tank, and then it spits it onto the sweeper as you go, so it
Okay.
eliminates quite a bit of dust.
Okay,
Okay.
that's awesome. I like that.
That's a pretty versatile machine.
Yes.
I don't know of anything that competes with that. For
No,
multi-use, there's nothing that competes with that.
No, that's good.
okay,
But if anybody wants to go down and take a look, or go to the supplier,
Well, I'm gonna come down next week and tour his facility. I keep saying that, but next week I'll have some time to go down.
great. We'll be there, so that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, thank you. Okay, Lee Isle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're still in pretty good shape. The annual filing of the impact fees report, with the state auditor was completed. So we're up to date with our filings with the state auditor.
So, hey, Lee Isle, really quick. So Jeff got a deal on the fraud asset, the
Yeah,
fraud
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
So he asked me if I got
yesterday.
one, but I never got one.
No, they asked that we just send to one board member.
Okay,
You would
awesome.
rather-
They
No,
picked
because
me.
I usually get it all the time, but no, I'm okay. Let's
That's kind of
share.
what I was thinking is.
Let's just
maybe
share
a
it.
Different,
Yeah.
I sent it yesterday, so
great, I appreciate that, thank you.
I didn't hear any feedback that it was wrong or anything, so.
No, thank you for checking on that though. Utah Public Finance website, salaries and benefits, yeah. So annually, we report our salaries and benefits to that website, and that has been completed. The first quarter actuals presented to the Board of Trustees will be next month. Quarterly expenditures and revenues posted to the Utah Public Transparency website. That is due at the end of this month, and that will be done. I just received an email from Clint to update our registry that we have to do annually with the Lieutenant Governor's Office. That will be done. It's always due a year from the last filing, so around today. They charge us like $25 each month or each year to file that.
What does that entail, Leo?
It's just so that the Lieutenant Governor's Office has a list of all of the registered government entities.
Current information.
Yeah. current
It's up to
information
date.
And contact.
So is it our management? What is, what
Do you
are we
help me out,
filing?
Nathan?
Yeah, so this is a requirement they imposed a couple of years ago, and it's just whoever the point of contact is, usually your creation documents, I remember
Yeah,
working to get those uploaded originally.
and a
so-
map of our.
A map of your
boundaries.
service area, so it's just keeping the state up to speed on who your team is.
Okay.
I'll just pull up.
If we made any
What you have
changes to
now.
our service area.
Yeah.
So if we don't have any changes, it's pretty easy.
No, they don't
to-
have any changes, we
Right.
need to do anything, but,
But yeah, we are forced to go onto it, check our information, make sure it's still current, and then.
Excuse me.
$25 and it's done, it's easy.
yeah, so we have, like, Clint's the primary point of contact, and we have the board members listed, and we have the address, and so that's the main thing, you just need to make sure that you, stay on top of it if anything changes. So for instance, if you have an election or you have a board member who doesn't step down, or like, doesn't run again or loses, that's something we need to change. If Clint takes another job or retires, we need to put his name in there. or-
Okay.
At some point, we do need to switch to a .gov email address, that was a
That's
requirement.
in the.
Yeah, and I've got one for my city now.
Yeah, and so when we do that, we might need to change that, I think, for the website, if that's
Yeah,
listed.
probably.
Is magnawater.com, so that's a change when that's done. That'll need to
So
be
when does that have to be done by, Nathan?
End of this year.
end of this year. And then I thought that was a really poor change. It's gonna cost a lot of taxpayer dollars.
Uh-huh.
But.
And why was that? Why did they do that?
I think they felt that it wasn't clear to the citizenry that a .org or a .com was a government entity.
Yeah.
And so they wanted every government entity in the state to have a .gov. And I think there's some truth to that, but when you count the millions of dollars it's gonna cost in taxpayer dollars to change everybody's business cards, everybody's website, everybody's logo, think of all the places an email address
Right.
appears for a government entity. You guys, I don't
That's
think it's
crazy.
gonna be too much. My personal opinion is I don't think the costs of that, as a taxpayer who's paying for this change, as everyone in this room is, I don't think it's worth my taxpayer dollars to do it. But that said, that's the requirement and we have to do it. So that is one change that I
And
know we'll
it's
make this
not a
year.
quick process.
No.
We started this back in October, and their website was shut down, or they decided to design a new page, new website for just this. That only opened up a month ago. So that's when we applied, and yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the only one on the council from the city that has a .gov. No one's got them all switched over yet, but I'm the only one that has one.
It'll be interesting. But that is in the works.
Okay.
So we're getting there. The municipal wastewater planning program, that is due this month. It's on the board agenda to be approved. Conflict of interest, we've talked about this every month. I have my notary stamp.
I know, that's what I kept pointing, I said to Jeff, look, she's got her stamp now.
So I can sit with you after the meeting, and we can refill these out, and that will be satisfied, so.
Okay,
And then, my grandma training to be records officer is due this month, and I will get on that and get that test taken and get my certificate renewed. Other than that, that's all that's going on.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, Andrew, let's have our HR report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair and Board. I just have a few quick items to update you on. First, with the current staffing, we're moving forward with one of the candidates that we brought to you for the wastewater position. That candidate accepted the position and will be starting April 22nd with Dallas. We had interviewed some candidates, and we feel like we had something like 70 candidates between the two positions apply. And we feel like we're not ready to move forward with the other candidates that we've interviewed. So Raymond and I and his team will start contacting some more people for some more interviews with that this week.
Okay.
We are going to be renewing our flat earther certifications on April 25th. We'll have everybody come in here and we have a company coming in to do that training for us and certify us. And then the last thing of note is, as you know, Marty had retired in March and he was replaced by Alan Tracy. Alan Tracy has decided that being a union business agent is not his dream. And so he's gonna retire the end of this month and he will be replaced by, I just lost his name.
Wow, they're going.
Just found that out yesterday.
Jeff Kendall will be our new business agent.
Okay.
That's everything for me.
So the question I have is, me and Andrew has spoke, I don't think, and again, we can't get involved in it because it has nothing to do with us, but I just don't feel the unions has good I don't feel like the union itself has really good communications with our employees. You know, there's people that's went off sick and it's taken them forever to get their short-term disability, and I don't know if there's something that we can do on this one, this end to help that, or if that's just gotta be strictly,
I think we've tried to do things like invite them in to educate, and I think about anything past that is beyond our reach.
okay.
But we're more than willing to.
Well, no, I don't wanna step over I definitely don't wanna step over our boundaries, but I don't think when you go off sick, you should have to fight for your disability when you've paid into it.
Maybe with a new agent, might turn around a little bit.
Yeah, I think that might be the case, so.
Maybe that would be a discussion we should have with the new agent.
When the new agent comes, we'd like to meet him.
Okay, Alan said that he might be able to get him out to meet us next week. I'll keep you guys
Okay,
notified.
or
if
invite
that
him out
happens.
to a board meeting and so we can, we'd like to know who he is.
Awesome, that's it for me.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
His name's Kendall.
Jeff Kendall.
Jeff Kendall.
Wonder if he's related to the Kendalls out here. You know?
Well, I think Alan Tracy was, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Item I, our project award agreements. Trevor?
Thank you, Warden Chair. So the first item here is a change order for a reuse project for Corio. I'll just focus on this first page. A lot of it after that is just kind of the little bit more detailed information that was reviewed in conjunction with this. Top part there, we've got 4 credits. These are, some of them got brought on by RFIs from the contractors, some requests by our team. I don't know, do you want me to go through each one or just?
You could
high
just,
level?
yeah, you can, I don't think we need to do, unless you guys need him to, I don't think we need
It's
to,
pretty
but,
explanatory.
yeah.
Yeah, so, and then basically what it boils down to, we're getting some credits for some things that, we help pothole, some costs that are being incurred are gonna help with our operations, give us some more flexibility and make sure that we can, send Alan to wherever we want it and need it to be. So all these are beneficial, we see. So the overall increase in the contract price of $18,350, I think it's less than 1% of the overall contract.
Okay.
And we're over 60% done. I think this is, really great in terms of all that and,
Yeah.
and the project. And so, I recommend approving if you agree.
Okay, I have no problem. Do you have a problem?
No.
Anybody have any questions? Okay.
No, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the WRF reuse project for Corio Construction, change order 001, in the amount of $18,350.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, our next one,
Yeah,
Leal, this is yours.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but last year around this time, this was presented to the board, and they approved to try 1 year with this, app and software. And at that time, I was under the impression that the annual renewal would be $1,095. However, apparently that was a mistaken assumption, and we do have to renew these licenses listed on the invoice each year. Those licenses are subject to change, however, I do think that we need them all. The progress that we've made with this app is the meter inventory this was used for the meter inventory last year, and it was great. It was so slick. Anyway, the guys could take their phone, use the camera to scan the tag, and it'll put it in, take it out. Put it
Oh,
in.
wow.
So it was so much better. Anyway,
So-
not all of our departments are integrated with this yet, just because of time constraints, but, one of our operators is on, light duty right now. And so they're in the process of making a list of all the parts out in the shop, so the waterworks inventory.
I like that idea because we've been after that inventory stuff forever.
I know, we've
Yeah.
tried,
It's good.
this is our third attempt of solving this inventory.
So Leah, we have to pay about $4,900 a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have looked at 2 other inventory apps that had the capability of scanning from a phone, because everyone carries their phone. And they are more expensive than this.
Really?
This, yeah, I think the one I recall, I can't remember the name of it, but it was almost like 11,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think it does and will satisfy our needs. It is kind of costly, 5,000 a year.
You know
but-
what, the thing is, I don't have a problem spending the cost if it works.
Right.
If
The
it's
pro,
good
and
for us.
we're going to use it,
If
we
it's
save
user
one
friendly.
meter,
right? And it's like Jeff said,
Absolutely, yeah.
Is it user friendly?
It is, yeah. They do have those hours of training.
so you're saying that
and
the
I've only
trustees
done
could,
like 30 minutes.
so you're saying the trustees could do it?
Yeah. Serious. You know how to tap on, there's a few fields that the guys will fill out, and then they just scan it in or out.
And as I look back there and the city manager is looking at me like, I don't think so.
But I guess my proposal would be this, and Clint kind of suggested that we do 1 year again. Give us a chance to get all of our departments integrated with it, make sure it does work. And then if it really works with every department, we could look at using this, or paying for multiple years, because it does save us some money if you pay for more
Okay.
than 1 year at a time. But I think because we haven't got everything integrated yet, maybe just do 1 more year and make sure it's gonna work all the way around.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to, what do we do? What's ASAP? That's just
I
the
don't know
name.
what the acronym is.
To
It's
approve,
Barclay.
to approve the ASAP Bar Cloud Inventory Application Software annual renewal in the amount of $4,995.
I'll second that.
Been motion, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So, legal counsel, I don't know if I can do this here or not, but stop me if I can't. So, does this, how do I want to say this? Our webpage, an update on our webpage, I mean, you know what, let's just put that on for next month. I'd like to have an update on our webpage, on if we're keeping up to date on everything for our webpage, so,
I feel like we are.
okay.
I think maybe what you're feeling is we could do some more refreshing of, yeah,
I have to get on to
We-
every,
we use it a lot, but,
Okay, one of the biggest things we have in this town, I'm just gonna tell you, it's communication. The communication in the town's horrible. That's one of my deals that I'm working on the city side. And I just wanna make sure, that on our end, that we're working to have good communication, so when something comes up, I'm laughing. So I just want to make sure that,
The one thing I will say, we do that as a team. We don't have someone that's dedicated, you know, that focuses on communication. I think we could all squeeze more content, but it takes time. Obviously, the biggest thing is it takes time to put together the content. We've got the platform. It's putting together the content that goes on and gets out in a format that, you know, is hopefully
because communication's everything.
right.
And
So
I just want to make sure that we're, you know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't get on the website. And so I'm guilty for that. I guess I need to get on and look at it and see if it's up to date and.
I would say this, if you were to compare us to Jordan Valley, you're probably gonna feel we don't communicate very well. In terms of the frequency and how much content they put out. But I can tell you, compared to some of the other districts our size, I think we do really well.
Okay, well, no, and you know, it's hard to compare us with Jordan Valley anyhow, because that.
They have full-time,
Staff.
they have people that's all they do.
But we put
so
a
we
lot
just have to
of, we
find
put a
them.
lot of money into it though too, so.
Right.
Me as a third of this board, want to make sure that we're taking
Oh.
advantage of it and making sure the communication gets out there to the people.
I support that.
Let me interlude here. One limitation I can see with that website is we are out of kind of expansion room. So if we wanna add another page, you know how they give us those lines under each heading? We would have to pay for them to give us more.
Okay, why don't you come back next month with the cost for that, because I don't know how the two chairs feel, but I think it's very important that we have good communication and we're updating all the time what we're doing.
That's our easiest communication. If we had a Magna Times or something like that, that'd be okay, but there's no guarantee they're gonna read it. So this is probably the only avenue we have.
Not even say they're going to look at it, but like I said, on our part, we've covered ourselves. So I'd like you to come back with,
And I'm not really saying that right this minute we would have to add something, but if we want, if we want something separate from what we already have, then
okay.
we can do it.
This is a low
Very
cost
low
option,
cost.
that gave us a lot of improvement in communication over our last
Yes.
incarnation or website. But it does have limitations.
Okay,
I would think that we wouldn't have the staff time availability to push beyond the capacity of this website unless we were to dedicate some more time and resources to it. So I would say we're gonna be all pushed to put enough content out to actually
well, one of the things
maximize
that I'd
what
like to
we
see is,
have.
one of the things I'd like
But
to see
we have,
on the webpage is, hey, come visit our gardens.
Yeah.
Come check come check and see water savers, come see our plants. I don't think we do enough of that. I think it's important that we have people come up. We got a lot of money tied up back here. And I think it'd be good to get people out here in the community to come see, some of our stuff that doesn't take a lot of water.
yeah.
Well, if
And-
we invite them, we should say, if you would like to come, please make an appointment. That way we can gather a few more together where it makes it worthwhile. Instead of just say, show up.
Well, no, I mean, they can just walk through it and there's markers on all this stuff out there to tell you what everything is. And if there's stuff that we need to fix and get that squared up, I would recommend that we do that,
Right. I do know that, with our engineer
He's getting
coming,
trained on the website.
coming on full-time, we'll have a little bit more, engineering and project
Okay.
information that'll be going out. So that'll be a positive. We can definitely have the office focus on more customer, informational,
Information,
like
yeah.
like you're proposing. I think if we all squeeze a little, we can get more information out. It's just, it takes time to put content together, right? Someone has to, use their artistic and their language skills to put something together to get people's attention, and that just takes some time, so.
No, I understand that. I just think since it's springtime and that we need, cause we're the city, we're trying to, get people to consist on water like we are here and let them know what kind of plants, and I wanna make sure that our plants and trees are all being taken care of out there, and if stuff needs to be replaced, then we need to get that stuff done.
We probably get 95% of our customer applications online now.
Okay,
So
awesome.
they're all going on the website, at least to that page, and they're signing up for water. So that page is seen by a lot of people.
Awesome, man, that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. You okay?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's perfect.
Okay, let's move on to item J.
Okay, I can take that one, Mr. Chairman. This is the annual municipal wastewater planning program survey for 2024. It's a collaborative effort between engineering, accounting, and wastewater. It just talks about our assets, our planning, future projects, how we'll fund them, our certified operators. It just requires a board signature. So we've already submitted this. We do it every year. You're probably familiar with it. We just wanted to put it in the packet in case you wanted to review it or have any questions before signing.
Okay,
That's a good rounded number, 200 million. Where did you get that number?
It was a team effort.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the format that's in there is their websites.
It's not as,
We can't get a very good format to show you.
they've changed the format recently. It used to be a lot more PDF and printer friendly. Now it's all fill out online. It's tough to even print, so that's the best that we could do as far as an insert goes, but it was
Okay.
in the format that they wanted upon submission.
okay.
So we used to not be able to fill it out online. And I would take that format and filling it out online more than what we used to do.
Sure.
So I have a question. Where did they come up with this? Do you fund the sewer system capital improvements with sewer revenues at 2%? Where did they get that number?
That's a system life, 50-year life.
But 2%, that seems awful low, isn't it?
Isn't 2% our answer?
2% per year would make sure that you're replacing those facilities every 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
But we said
comes
no.
we said yes, right?
No, we said no.
I have to look
thought
at
we
that
had
particular one, see how it's worded. Sometimes they word it, where the state uses this report for funding, needs. And so if we don't anticipate having enough revenue, we put no.
If you look
Well,
at,
because our needs change time to time,
It's-
so every year it's not the same. I just wondered
Right, which
where they
one?
get 2%.
You
So
don't
anyway,
know.
we said no, and
We don't know what page, no, there's no page numbers.
well, it says. 2%'s pretty aggressive. Yeah, yeah, that's right, we're at 1%, right? So like, for example, we target 10 years life on meters. So we've been working towards the goal to make sure, so you're really funding 10%, right, on meters every year. This is more of, really, it's a simplification, because if you're looking at pipelines, those have a different life, right, than a treatment facility
absolutely.
building. So, like Keith said, that's pretty aggressive on a pipeline, but on a water-bearing structure, concrete structure, that's probably what you wanna be
Oh, is that
planning
what it's
for.
based on?
And
So-
I think part of the thought process with that answer was, we don't replace, I know it doesn't say replace, but that's what our capital improvements are. We don't replace 2% of all of our, sewer collection lines in one year. Might be every other year.
because we think we're gonna get more than 50 years out of it.
But it's variable because it changes. I mean, you can go along for a while and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, we think we're gonna get more life than 50 years.
I just look like when we have to line a sewer pipe or something that's rotted out or ate out, you know?
Yeah, when we identify level of service and those service timeframes, that is always the goal, is to make sure that you're putting enough away
I see.
and to pay out that much.
For
But
that.
sometimes the reality of those costs are not achievable in, you know, we can have all these
1 year,
goals,
Yeah,
but that might say double rates. You know, so we have to balance that out. It
Okay.
takes some time to get to that point. So,
okay, thank you.
So do you want a motion on this?
Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the district's municipal wastewater planning program report.
Second
Been
that.
motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the investment committee meeting minutes.
So we do this, I believe, once every 6 months. This is when we meet with APA Benefits, Berkeley, and he presents to us the funds that are in the district's pension plan and 401k, and he presents the funds, excuse me, performance. If there's one, they have like, I don't know how many criteria, 6 criteria, 12 criteria, that each of the funds need to be at a certain percent to be on our approved list. So this investment meeting, the result of this was to add one fund to the watch list, and that's the American Funds Capital World Bond R5 fund. And then there was 2 already on there, they're proposing to just keep those on there.
Okay.
And then we did remove one, American Funds Capital World, GRN Inc., R5, da-da-da. And then, says the following funds will be removed from the plan and mapped to the following. None of those, the watch list was approved by the committee. We just need the board to approve the meeting minutes
Okay.
and the watch list.
So I got a question on this. With this guy, this Vanguard, I mean, this, not Vanguard, this Berkeley guy, how, I mean, do we ever look at anything, anybody else? I mean, do we, because we've been with this guy for a long, long
Yes,
time. And
Since inception.
isn't he the one that we had some problems trying to contact and stay in contact with and?
Berkeley's been pretty responsive.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because like, you know, it seems like we've
I
been.
I don't think it would be a bad exercise to look into going out to market with this.
always healthy.
Because we've had this for, how long would you say we've had him for? He's been,
Since '09.
yeah, I was gonna say since I've been on the board, so yeah, I came on in '09. So it's a lot of years. Okay,
If the board would like, I can definitely start looking into that as well as some of the other.
you know, you might wanna put that on, I don't think we could approve that now, I think we have to put it on an agenda item, wouldn't we, Nathan?
Well, that's, you're not acting on it.
No, just
It's-
to-
Given direction.
It's just.
Okay, okay. So why don't you do that? Let's just see, okay?
Yeah, I know some guys that do some pretty big stuff, like for Kilgore and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, if you have some contacts, let me know.
Okay, so,
Let's see, so, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the, investment committee meeting minutes, which, made some changes to the APA benefits dated April 4th, 2024.
I'll second that.
been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okey dokey, that's done. So for information discussion only, no action needed.
This insert,
Billing insert?
Yeah, so we already looked at that, so our next board meeting will be May 9th, 2024 at 10 a.m.
main,
Dallas, We'll be gone, right, for that one? That's the,
That's the Thursday, that's travel day, correct?
We're,
You
that's
both
that
will be.
pre-treatment conference, just a heads up.
Where's
For the
In
White
Mountain
Rock,
Grove?
Whitefish.
Yeah.
oh yeah, so that, we gotta decide if we're gonna go.
Is that Montana?
Uh-huh.
Oh my heck.
So that, if there's any adjustment, if the board wants to make anything in the meantime. and
So
change
is that the
date.
week of May, that first week of May?
I'm just pulling it up now. I think it's May 2nd. It's a
Oh,
Monday.
You think we'll be fine?
No, I think it's, I think we're gone.
Remember, there might be a conflict.
So when does that conference start? I know I had the paperwork in front of me.
I can look.
I think it's that week.
It's in
The
May?
6th through the,
I thought it was,
Ninth.
I thought it was, September.
May 6th through the 10th.
yes, okay.
So you're asking Clint if the board wants to move the board meeting?
If they are attending.
Well, if we're gonna go, we're gonna have to move the
Yeah.
board meeting.
Won't have enough. So is it in that week of May?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, wait.
Whitefish.
I have the 16th.
That's what I just looked at.
Oh, on the,
I looked at my freaking calendar and I put down, okay, so I do have it on this, the board meeting
in
on
the,
May
in the
16th.
noticed,
Yes, I'm so, yeah.
That's what I've got.
I don't know why I have on my.
it's the
other
second,
calendar.
because it's the second.
If we go,
Yeah.
But
Let me
we've
look on
already-
our website real quick.
we can go for a couple days.
Still have plenty of
what I
time to
thought.
fix it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a couple days. I don't wanna stay the whole
Yeah.
time.
We might be all right if
Yeah,
you already adjusted it for that.
2024.
Yeah, I'm showing the 16th.
Oh, and our regular notice, it is May 9th.
So are we
We
gonna
can
move?
propose to change it to the 16th.
Okay, let's move our
So
next.
can we move it to
Look
the
at that though.
16th then?
That's what I posted.
Yeah, but you can fix it.
I can fix that, yeah, but
Do we wanna move it to the 16th?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll notice it. that
So
it's
let me,
been changed.
we need someone to motion this, right, to change?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked for a flyer for that. I don't remember seeing one.
I thought I sent you one, but I can redo it.
You did send me one on Montana?
We
Okay.
put one in the packet. We can probably just print that for them. Remember the,
Oh, for the conference?
correct. Cost, dates, et cetera.
Yeah. we can send it. Is that what you want, or do you
Yeah,
want
the new
it
girl
to-
called me and asked me if I was gonna go, and I
Oh,
said,
okay.
can you send me some information, and I never got it.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only
Yeah, we
reason
can
I'm
send
asking.
you some.
Okay, yeah,
Because I wanted to see how long I needed to be there.
Yeah, okay.
so it starts, is sixth a travel day?
Actually, Sunday is the 5th, right? To be
Correct.
there. It starts the morning of the 6th.
Right.
Okay, so it's Monday.
The Sunday's the travel day, the 5th,
Okay, so we fly out on Sunday,
Sunday night.
okay?
So it's Monday to Wednesday, and then the 9th is a travel day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think as the board, you can go for whatever days you choose. Once they post the agenda, that might help. But Clint and I are traveling on Sunday and then Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Okay, yeah, that's the decide. I'll just go for a couple days and
Yeah,
you a couple days.
Yeah, probably, I don't know.
okay.
I gotta look at my schedule.
Jeez.
Danny's gotta look what days are gonna be the best for fishing.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah,
tell you, that's some awesome fishing.
it'd be good.
So we need a motion to change the board meeting to May 16th if you wish to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
It'd probably be safe to do that.
yep.
Are we okay with everything else? Is that a problem? Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, make a motion to approve the next month's board meeting from May the 9th to May 16th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Someone want to make a motion to close the open?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to meet immediately in closed meeting to discuss the character, professional competence, physical, mental health and of an individual and purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, including any form of water right, water shares pursuant to Utah Code 52-4-204 through 205.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
At 11:19.
Yeah.
We on? Okay, it's 12:33. Does someone want to close the close and open the open?
I'd like to make a motion to close the closed meeting and reopen the public board meeting.
I'll second that.
Been motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We didn't take no action, correct? So, did we, Nathan? We didn't take no action, we just had discussions.
Now, and there wasn't anything else on the
Okay.
agenda to act on.
So, any other business that we want to become for the board? That you can think of? Okay, I see none.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
And motion second, all in favor?